Hello again. Welcome to Domestic Tarotism with me, Benjamin, the Domestic Tarot-ist. Today we're going to be doing a reading for the sign of Gemini. Whether this sign falls in your sun, moon, or rising, I hope you can find something useful today as we explore these energies together. I'd like to start, as usual, by welcoming in the ethereal beings, interdimensional guides, forces of light, forces of darkness, any and all beings that wish to interact with us in this space to provide guidance as we journey together through the tarot on the Fool's Journey. Thank you. We just open up our hearts and minds to receive anything that wants to come through today. We just ask that our natural mind, our intellect, would be quieted so that it may be in harmony with our hearts, that our intellect would serve the heart and not try to rule it in this space. Just thank you. Alright, so we're going to start off, Gemini, again as usual with an archetype to serve as a all-encompassing energetic focus point. Today is recording this on October the 15th, 2023. Let's take that one. What do we have here? The Sustainer. Let's read it together, shall we? The Sustainer, the second archetype in the trio of existence, works behind the scenes, tending to the tasks of life. They cultivate gardens, pay bills, keep the meals warm, and the mouths sweetly fed. The Sustainer is at peace in the process of life, knowing there is no start or finish to humble yet meaningful tasks. They have a natural inclination to nourish others, to archive, to preserve Earth's resources, to consider environmental impact, to see their role in the divine cycle of life. It's common for the Sustainer to become overworked, leading to resentment. Their tasks aren't glamorous, and therefore the Sustainer rarely receives the credit or attention. The Sustainer longs to hold things in place so badly, especially relationships, that they resist necessary change. Take time with this archetype. It is within us all and needs our love. So this is very much the day-to-day, holding it together sort of energy. So let's take a look at the tarot regarding this archetype, Gemini. I would say I expect to see some pentacles. I expect to see the Earth realm represented in this reading. Yeah, there's the Prince of Discs coming out. Definitely see that is appropriate. Prince of Discs, Prince of Pentacles. to you first. Four of Wands. You can get your first three here going, and then we're going to talk about those. So the Prince of Discs could represent a person coming into your life, or a person that's in your life influencing you. But because it's in the first position, I'm going to go ahead and say this has kind of been your general modality lately, Gemini. Knight of Wands. Okay. Let's just pause here and just reflect on these cards for a second before we go any farther. Prince of Discs. The airy part of Earth, an energetic young man, a capable manager and steadfast worker, competent, perhaps dull, somewhat skeptical of spirituality, slow to anger, but implacable if aroused. So I feel like that's you in this time, Gemini, is like just really getting it done, the day-to-day, and just really focusing on those things that demand your attention. And I don't want to say mundane, but perhaps mundane, and just feeling like, you know, I feel like there's, with the Prince of Discs, is there's this question of like, what is it all for? You know, what you know, I'm doing the things, you know, almost like, I don't want to say going through the motions, but like, you know what you're doing has, you know, you've put in this plan, you're seeing it through, you're working the plan, you're working the problem, but sometimes it can feel a little thankless. It can feel a little bit like what is my end goal here? What do I want to achieve? You know, what is this all for? And maybe not even simply naturally, but what is the spiritual, like, what's the point kind of thing going on with this Prince of Discs, especially when it comes to moving forward here to this Four of Wands in the sustainer energy. Like, what is this outcome? What am I pushing forward towards? You know, when it's all said and done, when this is completed, what is going to be? And I feel like there's this question within you, Gemini, of like, you know, is this all there is? And if not, you know, where is this going? You know, am I just stuck in this circle, this cycle of just, you know, continuing to go around? You know, this Four of Wands has this wheel that's created by the wands, and on one pole of each wand is a ram, and on the other pole is a dove. It's sort of like just this never-ending cycle of conflict and resolution, and just problems and solving problems, and just moving through and just handling and taking care of. And then it you know, it's a circle, so it's completed, but it still feels like a kind of never-ending wheel for you, Gemini. And I would like to tell you today that the outcome, or the way out, not the way out of this, but the way beyond and through this, is really represented in this Knight of Wands card, right? So this is the forward expansion and, you know, outward sharing of your will and of your your desires and your things that kind of want to come out beyond this. So like, while you're working this wheel, this Prince of Discs energy, and the completion of the Four of Wands, there's also this this potential to manifest, which is the Knight of Wands, which is, you know, that bringing forth that inner flame to the outer world around you. Activity, generosity, pride, and swiftness are all terms associated with this Knight of Wands. So perhaps you're moving, you're caring for all the things that you are very beautifully taken care of in this sustainer energy with the Prince of Discs and the Four of Wands. And perhaps it's to get you to a place where you can teach others, to very much be that sustainer, but also so you can kind of pass the torch, in a way, Gemini, so that you're not doing this alone, or so that at least that you don't feel as if you're doing this alone. And sometimes the very purpose of things in life is to share them with others, because there's so much nuance in each of our journeys that when we couple them together, there's sort of a renewed sort of vigor that comes whenever you're able to share those things with others. Yeah. So let's say, yeah, you're doing these things, Gemini, and you are sustaining, and you're really nearing a completion cycle, and you're like sort of reflecting on all the things you've been doing, of like, okay, well, where has this gotten me? What am I doing? What am I to do with this, this new chapter, or this new sort of completed cycle? And what new perspective can I take into the cycle as it begins again? And Gemini, I believe for you it is going from simply being the workman to being the master, in a way, and sharing your gifts, abilities, and sharing your discipline with others, so that they can go with you on this journey, and so that you won't feel as though you're kind of going through this sustainer energy alone, or at least so that you will have more excuse me, more energies coupling with you with this sustainer energy. Let's go ahead and see what else we have here. I'm going to go ahead, and the next card is going to be our confirmation card for the very end. This card will sort of tie everything together, and we're not going to look at it until the end here, Gemini. So let's just cut the deck right here. Boom, boom. Let's take this one for later, and we'll just set it up here. All right. So these are all the things that are kind of going on on the surface, but let's take a look at what's going on underneath, inside for you. We have the Three of Swords, sorrow, underneath the Prince of Discs. I feel like your work used to bring you a great deal of joy, and perhaps it still does, but perhaps there's a sort of melancholy sense of like I was saying before, of like, what is all this for? I'm doing it, and I do believe in the work, and I'm grateful to be the sustainer, and never going to take any of that gratitude away from you, Gemini, because you wouldn't be able to be fulfilling this role of sustainer if you weren't in that position of gratitude for the things that you have, in order to preserve them and move forward. However, there is this beneath the surface sort of like sorrow, Three of Swords, sort of not so much loneliness, but I believe that's Saturn in Libra. Let's just thank the ethereal beings again, and let's just quiet our minds together, Gemini. Yeah, you have Saturn in Libra with the Three of Swords. Thank you. Yeah. Again, the intellectualization of your work at this time is not really lending itself to favorable internal monologue. You feel like you kind of have to build yourself up to get through these days sometimes, and just like, a lot of long hours, a lot of giving of yourself for others. And while that is beautiful, sometimes there comes with it a sense of like, I don't know how much I can do of this some days, and that very much is the struggle of the sustainer energy, Gemini. I just want to encourage you that, as this Knight of Wands, I believe that's definitely a person also coming into your life to kind of take and share some of this burden, or at least an energy of like you feel as though you can, you can pass that torch, or you can have someone, carrying that fire as it is, as you so beautifully do as a sustainer. Let's just take our next card here. Princess of Wands again. I see a lot of renewed fire energy coming into your life, Gemini. A lot of like, that spark that started you on this journey, that kind of created this cycle that you're on. Really getting back to that fire of like, wow, I really do like what I do, and I do it because I enjoy it, and that they're, this is what I want to be doing, and kind of rediscovering, kind of where you started with that, and just a kind of a renewed excitement in the day-to-day sustaining of the things that you have been so beautifully looking after. And yeah, seeing even like deepening friendships along this path that will help reignite that spark in you and them, Gemini. For our last card, we're going to ask that the spirit guides would perhaps show us something, something that you don't see coming, perhaps something that, let's just see. No, actually, not something you don't see coming. Something, something for you to remember and kind of hold on to. We have the mystery card already waiting for up there. The confirmation card already coming for a kind of unknown, but also confirmation. But for this card, I would like to ask the spirit guides to just show us something to just hold on to in this time. We have adjustment. This is the Libra card. The Justice card. Gemini, I would like you to really, in this time, be weighing out what your life would look like if you weren't doing this work. And give yourself the gratitude that perhaps you're not getting elsewhere, and perhaps you are getting gratitude from support systems and family in your life. And I don't mean to say that they are ungrateful, but are you grateful for yourself? This is a give yourself a pat on the back moment, Gemini, because look at all you've done and all you are doing, and really allow yourself to feel gratitude for yourself, if that makes sense, for all that you are doing and have done. I feel like in that, not like arrogant pride, but like wholesome pride based on what you have accomplished, and just feeling good about yourself, Gemini, because you have really put the work in. You have been that sustainer, and really don't let this sorrow of the, just doing the same thing over and over again seems to, it can definitely weigh on you, Gemini, and just don't, I realize that that is a real thing, and I don't want to say, don't let it get to you, but really with this adjustment card, make the adjustment within yourself and really weigh out, take a look at your life because of who you've been for yourself and for those around you. And just allow yourself to feel that gratitude for, the sacrifices that you've made, excuse me, and the positive influence that you've been for those around you. And I really see that as you embody that adjustment, that justice card, that Libra scale card, then that really is what is going to like kind of make you that beacon for this Princess of Wands and Knight of Wands, new energy of like renewed vitality as far as creative energy, just coming to you, so that you can continue on this Prince of Discs, Four of Wands energy, continuing this cycle, completion, but also like completing a cycle, but starting a new cycle in this Four of Wands with renewed lust for life, even, but creativity and excitement that will really displace this Three of Swords mental sorrow. So just be open to those energies, and what will allow you to receive those energies in your life is really feeling that sense of gratitude for yourself and all the things that you so beautifully are as a sustainer in your world. I'm so grateful for you, Gemini. You definitely, this is a really cool reading. I mean, as a Virgo, I really appreciate anyone who's on that, Prince of Discs, anyone that's grounded and just doing the work. I get it. I get like having to build yourself up and keep going in the natural, so that you can be that sustainer. I'm proud of you, Gemini. Honestly, you're doing a great job, and if no one else is telling you, I'll tell you. But I don't get that feeling. I get that feeling, Gemini, that you actually have a really good support system, because like a lot of you anyway, and for those of you who don't, I'm sorry, and I hope that is coming with this Princess of Wands and this Knight of Wands. I feel like a lot of you, Gemini, you really do have a good support system, so I will say that. All right, the time has come to check out our face down card here. So let this card represent a confirmation of like, when you begin experiencing this energy, you will know that you're fully in alignment with this reading, and perhaps you're already experiencing this energy. So let's take a look. The Empress, beautiful. Yeah. So this card, straightforward, Major Arcana, represents just that rulership, that divine feminine rulership, where everything is just like, this card is so harmonious. It's so in tune with the cycles of nature. It's she's seated at the water's edge. There's a swan next to her. She's got her shield with her family crest. She's holding this lotus. She's got either moon cycle on either side of her. There's a lot of elements of just serenity, peacefulness, love, beauty, happiness, pleasure, success, fruitfulness, good fortune, graciousness, elegance, gentleness. Yeah, this is a like when it's right kind of card, and like you will know that you've come into alignment with this reading, or that you already are, when things just feel harmonious. You know, there's a balancing coming, with this. uh, you have Prince of Discs, Four of Wands, Knight of Wands. You have a lot of fire. With this Empress, is just gonna be that like that cooling aspect, right? That that sigh of relief, that like, there is so much creative fire, but it's burning efficiently, but you're not getting burned out kind of energy, like a cool creativity, right? To where, like, I think you, if you're not there now, you definitely remember the time, Gemini, when like you could put in an 18-hour day and it wasn't like draining, it was like life-giving, and you felt, and perhaps you still do, and that's very good. That means you've never left the alignment with this Empress card, but perhaps, you need to come back into the alignment of like the things that you do don't simply cause energy to dissipate from you, but it actually feeds back into your energy, and that's this Four of Wands energy, this totally, recycling and renewing and regenerative force. And that's what this Empress speaks to as well, is that everything is in balance. It's the very natural sort of letting things flow in a way that, but not in a way that's chaotic, that's in a way of very harmonious, Gemini. So yeah, uh, keep doing your thing, Gemini. Keep sustaining. I hope you're able to get something from this reading today, and I'll see you again in about a month. Peace.